Hello again, guys. It's Andrew here once again. I'm just going to jump straight into your essay today. Like I said in your email earlier, I'm going to start by offering some additional methods, some additional sentences for you. Let's see if we can express some things in a variety of ways to give you some ideas. Because one of the things I struggle with is variety in Spanish. I live in Spain and I'm currently learning Spanish, but I have very few ways of saying everything, and that affects. Well, it causes me to repeat myself. It causes me to lack precision. So if we can bring some variety in, that should help us considerably. So let's consider what we're trying to do with this intro. We're bringing in the idea that new discoveries are relied upon to such an extent that people can no longer do without them. So, simple observation can reveal that. So, there's a tendency I've noticed in a lot of people's essays. Once they learn how you can introduce an essay, they just do that every single time. Now what happens then is you get thousands of people all going to take the IELTS exam, all saying the same thing. And variety is, I suppose it's essential for style. If you ever want to develop your own way of saying things, of your own personality and expressing yourself, then you need to know all the different ways that something can be said so that you can choose the one that feels like you. So this is very much going to be how I would say it, but you might get some ideas. So, simple observation can reveal that... Actually, no. Technological innovations are becoming increasingly... So, here, we can either have indispensable, cannot be dispensed with, and I've spelt it wrong. The technological innovations are becoming increasingly indispensable, or increasingly relied upon. But if we were saying relied upon, we would have to give, I think, a bit of an expansion. So, simple observation can reveal that technological innovations are becoming increasingly indispensable or relied upon for. That way, we have introduced the idea. And it's relied upon for. And if we were going to say relied upon for what? For the completion of... Well, we've already said simple, so let's say rudimentary tasks. Rudimentary is like elementary. It means of simple nature. If I give you some rudimentary instructions, there'll be very little there. If I give you a rudimentary idea of what I'm going to do tomorrow, it will be a brief outline. So a rudimentary task is a simple task that doesn't have much to it. Let's say even rudimentary tasks, and then we're saying they're relied upon for the completion of even rudimentary tasks. Like even really simple things people are beginning to rely on technology for. But that says that. So I would personally go with that one. If you want to use fancy vocab like rudimentary tasks, you can stick it in. But I would always recommend keeping it simple. Let's put that there. So let's tackle a body paragraph. So all you really need to do in here is, this is where you cover your topic. The next thing, state your opinion, So yes, what we could say, actually, let's just do it properly. Watch me write this incorrectly again. Okay, so I paused it there so as not to bore you, but I have just changed this around slightly. So we've got that first sentence, which was, innovations are becoming increasingly indispensable, to the extent that, these days, even rudimentary tasks are delegated to computers. This essay will attempt to analyse the matter using examples from the departments of British Transportation and Finnish Technology to make and support arguments. Yeah, so, because you would put the British Transportation Department and the Finnish Technology Department, and we should always try not to repeat ourselves. So we can use from the departments of British Transportation and Finnish Technology, because we've said departments, so we know that it's two separate departments. If this was not there, that makes that look like one big department, which it's not. So there we go. So next paragraph. Well, I'll leave that there, don't worry, you'll be able to see it again. And there is your second paragraph. I've only tidied this one up a little bit, but I've added some additional vocabulary that I thought was necessary for this paragraph. So let's get that formatted. Boom. Cool. I'll talk through this again in a sec. I'll just move on to the next one. Now, we wouldn't normally make this many corrections to one essay, because it's not good for you to look at so many mistakes at once or anything like that. But it's also very, very good to get some ideas of variety. So I've just spotted this one here. So if you want to say, the world is always, actually, I would say, the world is in a state of constant flux. Flux meaning change. And that one, highly probable. The difference between possible and probable. Probable means it's likely. Possible just means that it can happen, but it doesn't say anything about how likely it is. So if something is probable, it is likely to happen. Okay, so there's that one done. So, one sec. I need it to be neat. There we go. So that's done. Like I said, I would not normally change that much, but you wanted to see some variety, some additional vocabulary, and perhaps some different ways of structuring your arguments. So if you'll notice as well, your intro and conclusion are a little bit shorter, but the body paragraphs are a little bit more defined. So let's have a see. So we've only got 224 now since I've done that. So what we'll need to do is add some additional to make sure that it is above the word count. So now we're at 254 words, and all I've added is this. Given this, it is no surprise that people cling to new solutions. Actually, do you know what? Technological solutions to life's many problems, yeah. And then, secondly, the world is in a state of constant flux, blah 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 blah. Consequently, new discoveries have always been necessary for human survival. We simply must innovate. We have to. This one as well. In only a few years, it will be possible to predict seismic events approximately 5 days in advance. So a seismic event, seismic means movement of the earth, movement generally, but it's usually used to refer to earthquakes, seismic events. And then down here, I added an extra thing. Innovation is a natural human process driven by the need to improve one's situation or quality of life. It is likely that in the future, scientists will even discover many cures for some of the world's deadliest diseases. It just flows a little bit better, you know, it makes a bit more, it's like butter in the ears. Words, 259, done. Next one. So this is your task 1. Now, as these ones are quite short, and they don't require that much of you, I'm just going to read through this one and correct it with my voice. So I am writing in regard to provide the letter of recommendation for Sarah Taylor. There should be a letter of recommendation. It's kind of difficult because you're right, it is a definite article because we're talking about a specific thing that we are providing. But a letter of recommendation is a phrase, essentially. So I'm writing to provide a letter of recommendation for Sarah Taylor. Here I would say a letter. I'm writing. So I am writing to provide a letter of recommendation for Sarah Taylor, for the position of Sales and Marketing Manager at Flower Online. There we go. Mrs. Taylor had been working with the company for the past 5 years. I would say has worked, or worked simply. Mrs. Taylor worked for the company for 5 years from December 2012 until January 2017. During these years, her main duties were to create marketing strategies for new products. Another of her duties was to develop a customer survey to analyse clients' expectations, so no plural there, if you've got the article there. Develop a survey, or develop surveys. She led, I wouldn't say gratefully, because the word she led gratefully means that she was grateful for running the team. So, unless you want to say that she was great, so then you could say she led a team of 10 employees. Actually, yeah, let's just leave that out. So let's just say she led a team of 10 employees. These employees always finished her tasks successfully. Earning her the reputation as a great manager. Mrs. Taylor is very committed to her workplace. Through her hard work, the company achieved impressive sales scores. So either, if you're saying that her company, so dear sir, madam, your company could achieve impressive results with this person, that's fine. Future conditional, your company could do this. But if we're talking about through her hard work in the past, and we're talking about our company, then we say, through her hard work, the company achieved impressive sales scores. I'd really recommend this person without reservation. Good. She's extremely creative. She is an extremely creative team player and self-motivated person. So this one here, extremely creative team player, I think that's a good one. So it doesn't need a comma, because extremely creative team player is a good phrase. And a self-motivated person. For any further information, please do not hesitate to contact me. Yours faithfully, Alex Gonsalves, Executive Sales Manager. Excellent. But that's all good. So remember the few bits and bobs that I told you. What I'll probably do actually is send these over to you in an email so that you can have a good look at your correction. But I'll send that over to you shortly. But until then, here's this, and I'll speak to you very soon, man. Bye bye.